everyone here this evening. I want a world. 4 words. Not even, very lengthy, but so much meaning behind those 4 words, or with those 4 words. Yes, absolutely. These words, I want a world, embody so much, and we are so excited that today is finally happening. A lot of work has gone into making this day possible, and I want to remind everyone, this is not the end of something, this is the beginning. This is a launch. So you're here as ambassadors of this particular campaign, and you're being charged with spreading the word. We hope that you'll participate, and you'll learn more about that, and we hope that you'll tell people and put stuff on your Facebook, your Twitter, write a letter. I don't know if people remember what those are, but if you do. For so many months, maybe longer than that, only some people in this room may know how long that really was, but Jane Doe and the Network Lorette have been on this journey together to create this campaign, to talk about our values, our politics, our philosophies, to converse with one another. And I think that I can speak for us to say that this has been a meaningful, depthful collaboration and partnership that has many more, waves to come. As a coalition of nearly 60 member programs and a statewide organization, which is both 14 Beacon Street and our coalition, but as an organization, we understand, or are learning to understand, the meaning of being an ally and all that that means on that journey. And the constant attention and vigilance that it takes to be a meaningful ally. And that is, we are a work in progress. It has a lot of meanings to be an ally. It means that we're holding ourselves accountable, holding one another accountable, and that we recognize that there are many others here across the state and across the country who have been and are providing leadership to the issues in the lesbian, gay, bisexual, queer, and transgender communities related to domestic violence and sexual assault. And most importantly, it's really important that we acknowledge that history and its significance today and beyond. We didn't get here easily. It's really important to understand the legacy that comes before us and to learn from it. So this is just the beginning of this, and we have also committed to doing an annual something together that we haven't fully defined, and we're really excited to see what happens with this campaign. So we don't have a predetermined piece about what will happen. We're really waiting to see where it will take us. So we rely on you and everyone else to help us to get there. All right, I'm hot. Sorry. I want to do a couple thank yous, and we'll do some more thank yous later. First of all, a very special thank you to the Massachusetts Department of Children and Families, for which this day would not be possible. The Massachusetts Department of Public Health for your support as well. Again, a great pleasure. I have to do a big shout out. I do what Tony tells me to, but not always. I have to do a big shout out to the people I get to come to work with every day because they're so amazing, especially Tony Troop. Sharon Person. Maureen Gallagher. I always say we are small but mighty. Some of us are even smaller. And to the fabulous interns from Jane Doe who also made today possible. And to the Jane Doe board that has also really been incredibly supportive. Thank you very much. And I want to do a big shout out to Jane Doe member programs. If you are a champion of this campaign, please raise your hand. Woo-hoo! If you are a supporter of this campaign or from a Jane Doe member program, also please raise your hand. Oh, and you're telling me they're listed there, but I can't see that, so sorry. Please follow the screen. And now it is my hugest pleasure to introduce a friend, a colleague, someone I've known since for a really long time. Beth Leventhal, director.
Hi. Well, thank you all. How's that? Better? That's better. So let me say again, thank you all for coming this evening. We at the Network.Net, we celebrated our 25th anniversary a couple of months ago, which really is unbelievable. One of the things that I mentioned at our anniversary event was that 25 years ago, we could not get 3 people together in a free workshop to talk about battering and lesbian relationships. The fact that we are all, you all, are here today, and that we're here surrounded by allies in the coalition, in government, in business, in the faith community, and that we're talking about sexual and domestic violence in the L, the G, the B, the T, the Q communities, that is really nothing short of remarkable. So thank you all for making that. Over the last 2.5 decades, I'm not getting to say that, we've been really working to try to debunk the myth that domestic and sexual violence don't exist in LGBTQ communities. And over the years, we've really seen growing public awareness and acknowledgement, including in the media, that these are issues for all of us. 3 days ago, the Boston Globe reported that an Andover woman was arrested for allegedly stabbing her girlfriend and then setting the house that she lived in Lawrence on fire. Last year, we saw the murder trial of a woman in Granby for the death of her wife. In 2011, there were 4 confirmed or suspected gay male domestic violence-related homicides in Malden, in Provincetown, and in Winthrop. So this is clearly an issue for all of us across the Commonwealth. But partner abuse and sexual assault are so much more than homicide, and so much more than physical violence. They're about control. So let's also acknowledge the unpublished stories. The story of the transgender man whose abuser threatened to tell DCF about his gender identity and have his children taken away if he ever tried to end the relationship. And the bisexual woman whose abusive ex raped her and then said, you know, I know you, and you wouldn't have sex with somebody you're not in a relationship with, so this must mean that you want to get back together, and then refused to leave her apartment. And then the lesbian whose ex regularly called the hospital where she was a nurse and pretended to be her in order to keep track of her schedule. And the gay man who couldn't get a restraining order against his abusive partner because he was afraid that as an undocumented immigrant, he would be the one who was arrested. So these stories and many, many others are why we are all here today. We're here for all of the survivors who are still alone and still isolated and still unable to reach out. We're here for all of the survivors who reached out but who faced ignorance, incompetence, discrimination, harassment, and dismissal when they did. We're here for all of the survivors who sought support and who found welcoming services, whether at the Network.Net or at other programs, many of whom are represented in this room. And we're here for ourselves, whether we identify as a survivor or not, because ending domestic and sexual violence makes all of us safer. Together, we can change the question from, does partner abuse and sexual assault really happen in our communities, to the new question, which is, what can we do about it? Because as a community, as a society, we're not going to arrest our way out of abuse, any more than we're going to shelter our way out of it. Partner abuse, sexual violence, stalking, these are not personal problems. They are public they're political issues, they're public health issues, they're social justice issues, they're community issues. Really ending domestic and sexual violence will need all of us to take part. And the I Want a World Massachusetts campaign gives us a way to do just that. This campaign recognizes that survivor-led community organizing is essential to ending domestic and sexual violence. It invites everyone to become a champion, to do the work, to open our hearts and our minds, and to use our individual and our collective power to address the needs of LGBTQ communities in all of our diversity. And this campaign gives us the hope that together we really can create the world that we want. So thank you all again for being here and for being part of I Want a World Massachusetts. And then, a little detail about the campaign. Early on, we, there's the whole "if you build it, they will come" thing. Well, what if they don't? And so we wanted just to have a couple of videos to put up as examples and hopefully inspiration for other people's submissions. But there was the whole question of how exactly were we going to do that. And then, as it happened, a videographer named Marcella called really out of nowhere, called Jane Doe, and offered her video skills. So the timing was really perfect, and we shot a few videos, and we want to show you one of the examples.